Ladies and gentlemen, this is Shelley Winter Show, live, local, topical, and relevant. We air every night, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Please follow us on social media, Shelley Winter on Facebook, Shelley Winter 1 on Twitter, YouTube page, The Shelley Winter Show. You can get all clips of the show on that page. So just follow us on social media. Just click subscribe or like or follow, whatever it is that you have to click, but we appreciate you if you follow us on all social media. So RFK had to close, right? They voted to cut off debate, and so tomorrow he will go not before the Senate, but he'll go to a Senate vote. The full Senate will vote tomorrow, Thursday. This is a message for Republicans. And it's a message for Republicans that seem to not like RFK Jr. This is a memo. Let's call it a memo to Republicans who are opposed to RFK Jr. from Shelley Winter, host of The Shelley Winter Show. Back during the election, RFK Jr. wanted to run as a Democrat. The Democrat Party froze him out. Froze him out. They did him worse than they did Bernie Sanders. By the way, quick aside, this is not in the memo, this is just spoken. This is the same party that was fighting for democracy. But let's table that for right now. Let's go back to the memo. So anyway, he was pushed aside, shunted aside by the Democrat Party to keep Joe Biden in there. No primary. So at this point, RFK Jr. and his team, thousands, millions of supporters, went around the country to get petitions signed to be added to ballots across the country as a third-party independent candidate. And many moderate Republicans, libertarians, conservatives liked RFK Jr. Now, they weren't going to not vote for Donald Trump, but they were intrigued by RFK Jr. They liked what he had to say. And many of these people are not one-issue voters. And many of these people do not believe for a second that he's a conspiracy theorist, because they believe and understand and agree with a lot of what he had to say. For instance, and this is in the memo, you can't tell me that you have a lack of trust of the intelligence communities and then tell me that you trust the FDA, Big Pharma, and Big Food. Like, they all go hand in hand. So we all should have a healthy distrust of government, unless you benefit financially or otherwise from government. So RFK is running as a third-party candidate. And then he doesn't see a path to victory. And he sits down, he tries to sit down with Kamala, and he meets with Donald Trump. And at that time, there was a lot of excitement around what was going to happen. Will RFK Jr. endorse Donald Trump? There was a lot of excitement at that time. And the Republicans that did not like RFK Jr. were saying, don't be fooled, he's pro-life, and don't be fooled, and all of this stuff. But there was a lot of excitement by regular voters who were intrigued by the messaging of RFK Jr. Like Donald Trump, they wanted to see that marriage. And so finally, around August, I don't have the precise date, but around August, RFK Jr. goes to a rally, is on a rally stage, and he says, I am endorsing Donald Trump for president. And the crowd went wild. There were no boos. There were no pro-lifers out there saying, no, boo, no. There was, yeah, RFK, yeah, Trump. Oh, we're winning now. Trump got a little bump in the polls. But the other thing that RFK Jr. said very importantly at that time, he said, President Trump, or candidate Trump, former President Trump, has promised me HHS secretary. I can only take him at his word. It's what he said. I'll never forget it. I can only take him at his word, and I'm going to go with what he's telling me. Well, Trump stood by his word. You're my HHS secretary. So Republicans that vote tomorrow, if you're listening to me, you better do the right thing by your voters. We don't care what you say on television. We don't care what you say on the blogs. We don't care what you say on Twitter. We don't care what you say on the radio. We don't care about your pro-life positions. We don't care about any of that. Stick by your word. Because one man who we voted for made a promise to another man for his endorsement on a campaign trail, and we know that endorsement helped Donald Trump win the popular vote. We know it. It's documented. The data proves it. So if you go into the Senate tomorrow as a Republican senator and you don't vote for RFK Jr., you would have lied to your voters. And many of us, I promise you, will not take kindly to being lied to. This was a deal made for an endorsement. Keep your word. Keep your word to us. You can lie to each other, but keep your word to us. And keep your word to the millions of moderate, independent, libertarian, and maybe center-left liberals who voted for Trump because of RFK's endorsement. We know it happened. We know they're there. We saw them in the returns. We see them in the numbers. They were made a promise. He was made a promise, and we were made a promise. Do not break that promise because you can't get all the way on board with RFK Jr. We can, and we're the ones who count. Not you, not her, not them, us. We count because we put you all there. And just as soon as we put you there, we can take you right on out in the next election. Trust me on that. There are millions of RFK Jr. supporters who want that man confirmed tomorrow. Heed my words, Republicans. Don't listen to the neocons. Don't listen to the crazies. Don't listen to the pro-lifers. Heed my words. You better confirm RFK Jr. tomorrow. The Shelley Winter Show, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WS.